and welcome back to my channel. So today we're gonna dive right into two planners that I'm really excited about and some things that I want to talk about. So let's go ahead, let's get started. All right, so I've turned on a light because I'm losing a little bit of sunlight here. So I'm gonna try to make this video quick and yeah, so let's waste no time, let's get straight into it. So this planner here I've been sharing on my channel, it's a Clever Fox daily planner. A lot of you know that I purchased this planner with the intentions that I was not going to like the Day Designer, so I purchased this as something else that I wanted to try. I'm in my trial phase of this year as far as planners go because I've spent a lot of money over the years buying and trying different types of planners that never really suited me, and I am up to here with it. The economy isn't that great. Money isn't that, broad, like it's not money that I can just throw away anymore. And so now I'm just like, let's try a couple of things, budget friendly options, and narrow our selections down. So over the course of the last couple of months, I've been making a couple of investments into things that I've wanted to try and I've tried. And as the things that I've tried don't work for me, I've just kind of been giving them away or throwing them away because I'm not going to go back to them. So Clever Fox is a planner that I have tried in the past, and different purposes, different style. I was kind of itching to try it again. I was really looking for a daily planner. I really wanted a daily planner. I wanted a bullet journal to be exact, but I couldn't find a bullet journal that I really liked. I was struggling with the idea of drawing out layouts and things like that. So I settled on purchasing this Clever Fox this time around and thought, okay, well, if I don't like the Day Designer, I have a Clever Fox planner that I will try. So off the bat, a couple of things that I'm really loving about the Day Designer is there's a book band, it's really sturdy, and it's uniquely made specifically for me. And by uniquely made, I mean like the deco, all the things that's in it just feel very homey. So these are all things that I was lacking in most of my planners that for some reason I just never really could vibe with. And so this one feels a little bit more personal and definitely more inviting for me, and definitely took away the anxiety of needing to have a cover. Part of why I was not vibing with a lot of my planners was because I was in the feeling of they need to have covers. I can't have a cover on it, then I won't use it. Blase. A lot of factors went into it for me. So with the Clever Fox, I'm feeling a little bit more free. And yeah, I'm going to share my flip through of all the things that I've done for this month. So for this month, first of all, the Clever Fox planner has definitely grown. So if you've watched any initial setup of this, you've noticed, if you've noticed, there weren't a lot of these things in this planner until recently. And yeah, I've been making it personal to me. I've added pictures of my family. I've added things that I've been using a lot in this planner, specifically because it just helped to have some of these things more conveniently accessible versus me having to go look in a box for something that I might have needed. A lot of you know that I'm in limbo as far as where we're living because my husband is TDY and we are TDY with him. And so if for those who don't know what TDY means, it's just a temporary deployment or temporary duty station, if you will. And so we are here with him and we're at a villa, and a lot of my things that I use are just not easily accessible. A lot of them are still in boxes and bins and still packed up, and so I don't have a lot of things accessible, so I try to keep them within my planner, which makes it a little bit easy. So my lovely little periwinkle planner here got fluffed up a whole lot, and I'm not mad at it. So as far as July goes, I have absolutely loved using this planner this month. Probably my favorite planner thus far. I was talking about how I really dislike the box spacing with the Day Designer. Obviously, this is a much bigger planner, so the boxing is going to be a lot bigger. than that of the Day Designer. I loved it. I definitely felt like there was a ton of space here, even though each part of this planner has a section of its own, like how you have your this month's wins and improvements, and then your goals and life area goals here. It had a crap ton of space that was very easy to work around and work within. So definitely loved this. Definitely loved having the weekly dashboard alongside every set of dailies, because here's the thing, it helps a whole lot when you can have a visual plan for your week versus just having your daily. And it took away like needing to have a separate planner in order to get the same type of planning method accomplished. So by that I mean, you have your weekly dashboard here where it's this week, the week of, and then you have your weekly priorities, what your weekly goal was, what your work to-do list is, what your personal to-do list is, your habits, and then you have your work-life balance down here at the bottom, where you can break up different areas of your life that you want to kind of focus on, and then you can use those areas and put them within this habit tracker and then check them off as you do that. I also used weekly sticky notes. This helped a lot to do a lot of forward planning or planning ahead, if you will. So definitely would recommend using like a sticky note, something like this. This is something that Hemlock and Oak also has. They have a smaller version of what they call weekly stickies, and they're relative to like their planner as far as grid spacing and things like that, like the grid boxes on the little weekly stickies. They have the same concept. You can accomplish the same concept here in the Clever Fox. I got these sticky notes from Target. It's a bigger sticky note. What I like about this one though, opposed to the Hemlock and Oak, is that there's a lot more space down at the bottom, which is actually labeled notes, where you can jot notes. But I like this to forward plan. It made a world of a difference, believe it or not. And it was great to have this alongside this dashboard, because a lot of times I was planning things for the week, or I would have a set idea of what I wanted to accomplish for the week, but I also needed to have a weekly overview so I could see what the heck might be happening days ahead. Like, although having a daily planner is supposed to take away from that, it definitely makes more sense to me, at least, to just have it on a weekly sticky note or weekly page like this, so that I can see it further versus flipping through all these pages. So this daily page is definitely a workforce. I definitely had a lot of fun playing around and using this planner. The priorities, the goal, the schedule, the to-do, and then there's a rate your productivity part down at the bottom, which a lot of the days I just kind of ignored because they didn't make a world of sense to me, especially if at the end of the week I'm going to do a weekly review. I didn't feel that I needed to kind of sit down and review every day in this essence. The way that I review my day task is I look at whatever goals I might have set for the base of the week. So if for whatever day I'm on, if I have goals that correlate to what goals and tasks that I have set out for the week, I usually go through all of those and try to match them up to see, like, am I working on them? Have I worked on it? Or is it complete? And so a lot of times I'll have like, what are 3 big things that I want to do for the day? I don't care if they're big or small. I don't care if I don't get anything on my personal to-do list done. I just want to see what are the top 3 things that I must do. And these 3 things will make the day for me if I get them done. So a lot of times I would look at that, see what my main goal was for the day, see what my top priorities are, and then I would see my schedule. A lot of times I was writing like routines in here, my personal routines mixed in with my son and I's routines, mixed in with just all of us, like my husband, my son, myself. I would put our routines in here and just kind of map out the day or jog in things as the day was going, just so I could keep up with what the heck is actually happening, and so that I'm not falling behind on anything specific. And then at the end of the day, I would sit down and I would look over this and I would just check off what I've completed. Excuse me. I would check off what I completed and then I would put a check mark on it. That is what I would do for every single day that I process. That is how I process pages. I kind of look at what my week goals are, week tasks are, and I match them up with my day-to-day goals, priorities, tasks, and things like that. And I just kind of check off whatever I've done and what I haven't done. I move them to the next day, or I just kind of keep reevaluating until I get the task done, or if I don't get the task done at all, I make the necessary changes that need to be made. But nonetheless, having a red check mark on the page definitely solidifies that I've processed all the information that needs to be processed, whether that be a note, a task, a goal, or what have you. It has been overlooked and all the information on that page has been processed and moved to wherever it needs to move within my planner. So definitely love the Clever Fox. And because the writing is so light, a lot of times what I would do is I would do my schedule, but when I didn't need to have a schedule, I would just journal or write notes or whatever, because it makes no sense to have all this blank space and not utilize it. So if I didn't have a schedule, didn't want to use a schedule, or whatever the case may be, I would just use it for journaling or note taking, and then I would just keep up with my priorities and my goals and my to-do list and go about my day. I did start eventually putting like some I don't really care for the word commonplace, because to me it's not a commonplace for me. It's more of a reference. They are notes or things that I'm actually working on and probably will go back and look at in the future. And I'm sure that's along the lines of a commonplace, but for me, I just don't like the idea of calling it a commonplace. So I just call it a general notebook or a place of reference. And so I just kind of color code according to that. And all things like this get processed as well. These don't go unprocessed. So if they're within the day, they all get processed the same way that I process all the daily pages. And at the end of the week in this planner, I would sit down and I would look over all of the review questions for the week, and then I would jot down some areas that really I really struggled with, or things that might have bothered me during the week. I would write them down here, so that way I can elaborate on why a certain thing didn't get accomplished, or how I'm feeling thus far about my week's goals and priorities and what I really want to focus on. Because for me, I think a lot of times we just want to write, and writing actually helps. So I would sit down and I would write out things to help myself understand a lot of areas in my life. And so having this and doing it this way this time around in my life has definitely made a lot of things that I have considered just not necessary, very necessary. Like, I used to think that doing these weekly reviews, super unnecessary, doesn't need to apply to me. But doing it, I've realized that it does apply to me, and it does help, because I was able to see some things that maybe I was struggling with, and touching base with those things within myself just helped a whole lot. To just sit down and let's think about it, and let's see where we want to be, let's see what we want to do. And yeah, so I really liked the weekly review. A lot of days I didn't get my weekly goal done. I had a couple of wins for every week. I don't care if they were very small and not relevant. A win is a win, and sometimes you have to be gracious with yourself, especially us stay-at-home moms or working moms. Whatever the day entails that keeps you from doing anything, if you can get one thing out of your weekly task list done, it's a win. I don't care how big, how small it is, it's a win. And a lot of times I just had to tell myself, like, we ain't always gonna have, wins every day, wins every week, a whole lot of wins, 3 wins. It's not gonna be like that. So you have to give yourself grace and just the small things, just acknowledge the small things that happen in life. So I definitely liked the weekly review. And what I started doing was putting like these little page flags on here so that I could go back and look at previous reviews. So that way, if I'm on a different week, so for instance, this is week 27. If I'm on week 29 and I'm doing my weekly review, I can look and see if whatever happened on this weekly review, if anything changed. Am I still following the same type of thing? And I think this is helpful when you're trying to notice patterns within your behavior. So for me, having like this weekly review and then going back and looking at week by week definitely just solidifies that, okay, maybe there's a learned behavior that we need to work on. Maybe we've procrastinated and we're content with procrastinating and throwing things off and not prioritizing things, that maybe now we see the patterns that happen that lead up to this, and so now we can look at it, we can acknowledge it, and we can start to work on it. So just having the visual here, it just definitely helps. And another thing that I started doing was putting a page flag on every start of the week, so that way I could go back and look at previous weeks, so that if I needed to, I could. So I shared a video about my day designer where I was doing goal intended task planning. And so by that, I mean, I would make a goal list or a brain dump task list, and I would take from that task list the biggest things that I wanted to accomplish, essentially, and I would put a date on it. I would put a date within 1 to 2 days of accomplishing some things. So sometimes I put 3 days, but more importantly, I put maybe 1 to 2 days. So I would do this because to me, I realized that I am goal driven or motivational driven. When I have motivation behind doing something, I tend to move my ass a little bit faster. So by that, I mean, when I was on the weight loss medication and I was working with my doctor some months back, when I lost the 20 pounds, my motivation was I wanted to get off this drug and I wanted to establish some healthy eating habits that would put my ranges back to normal, because I was on I was almost diabetic. I was facing diabetes. And a lot of you who have been here since the start of my pregnancy journey and just fertility journey in general, you know that I was diabetic with my son. And so I was on that insulin. I went down that road. I had all those appointments. I knew how hard it would be. So the motivation behind wanting to lose weight was for health reasons. So I know that I am motivation driven. That's not always a good thing, and it shouldn't be something that you rely on to accomplish things. But I know that when I have a goal of accomplishing something, I know that I tend to move differently through the days, the weeks, the months. So I'm trying a goal-based type of planning to kind of kick fire some momentum and getting some things done. There are a lot of things that I want to focus on and accomplish for myself within my own personal life, and I can't do that if I'm prioritizing the wrong thing. So I started doing a goal type planning, a simple little goal sticky note. I got these sticky notes made at Vistaprint. I bought the PDF from Etsy, an Etsy seller. I do not know where that Etsy seller is or if they are even on Etsy, because a lot of you always ask me where I get these sticky notes. I don't know anymore. They aren't in my Etsy purchase history anymore. Well, they are, but when I go to click on it, they don't pop up anymore. So I don't know, but I have bought a PDF file that had a bunch of types or a bunch of different functional sticky notes, and I was printing them out at home and just taping them in. I took the liberty this year though to get some of them printed at Vistaprint, because for me it was a lot easier to have them already sticky like this, so that way instead of permanently sticking them down, I could move them, or instead of using a bunch of little paper clips and things, I could move them around. So yeah, I highly recommend using goal sticky notes to kind of help you accomplish a couple of things. But nonetheless, This was a pretty solid planner. I definitely felt that it worked in all areas of my life. Obviously, I'm not a working mom. I don't work a 9 to 5. My job primarily is to take care of my son, take care of my family, take care of our household. And so I take my job very seriously. It's the only job that I have right now. And so my mom always told me, like, whatever job that you do your best at that job, you learn that job, and you work that job. And so I take my job very seriously. I'm a stay-at-home mom. It's not the most glamorous of jobs. No job is very glamorous, but it's just something that, you know, I've found a workforce that really helps. This planner reminds me a lot of the Plum Planner, because I always talked about how I loved the Plum Planner for home life balance and how it worked so well as a home planner. There are times when I really want to go back to the Plum Planner. What I don't like about the Plum Planner is that I needed all these different things in my planner to make it work. And that price jumped from being a simple $40 planner to a $100 to almost $200 planner. And that's not feasible. That's just not feasible. So I don't know. I have a lot to think about this year. As you guys know, I'm in my trial phase where I'm trying out different planners and really trying to see what I like. What I do like about the Clever Fox is they're solely undated planners. So if for any reason that, you know, I don't want to use this planner, there's no guilt behind page wasting. I don't feel as though I'm wasting the pages because this planner is undated. So like I said, I've had a lot of fun using this planner. This planner has definitely worked for all the areas in my life. And if you guys have not realized, this is a 100% lay flat design. It lays completely flat no matter where I am within this planner. So I could be in flipping October. It's going to lay flat. Granted, I got some stuff in mind, but it's a lay flat design, so it's going to lay flat. That is a big perk for me, and a big, you know, like it's just a big perk in general. A big yes for me is that it lays flat. So I have loved using this planner for this month. I do have a little bit of back planning to do. Like I still have to do my weekly review and then move on to the current week. But I'm getting there. I've started filling in some things. I'm gonna back plan a couple of things because today it's been really busy and I haven't really had time to sit down and do a lot of things. So I'm really working on, you know, this week as a whole. So I'm gonna do that. Also in the back of this planner, there are a couple of things that I want to add that I think will be very helpful. I've already started to add like a mood tracker because I realized that mood changes definitely affect how we accomplish things, how we move forward with things in life. So I've started I started tracking my mood again. I used to do it in a different way. I used to do it several years ago, different kinds of ways. I'm gonna go back and try this again. I put it in the back because this is where all the note pages are, and I kind of use my weekly note pages for reflection writing. And plus I can have all the months together. So I put it in the back. It's tabbed off, so I know I won't forget it. It's also tabbed off here. There's a couple of other things that I want to put back here, a collection of things that I want to put back here. And yeah, that's what I have to say about this. I do have an additional notebook. I have another notebook that I'm taking like notes and things like that in. At one point in time, I will go over my notebooks that I always keep with my planners, but this won't be that video. So another planner real quick, since we're at 24, another planner that I wanted to quickly share with you guys is this Kate Spade planner. It doesn't say Kate Spades and it doesn't say 2024 to 2025 because the ink that was used was rubbing off. It was rubbing off essentially. And so I was like, big eyesore. I tried to put tape on it to kind of, you know, mask it, but it was a big eyesore. So yesterday I sat down and I just did this until it basically just rubbed off clear. And I used quite a bit of stuff. I used alcohol to kind of rub it off. So I don't have the year or the branding on it anymore, but I got this planner from not Hobby Lobby, I'm sorry, Barnes and Nobles. And I got this because I was, like I said, I'm in my planner trial phase, and I do have a membership with Barnes and Noble, so relatively not expensive. So I got this because I was in the store and I was looking at this planner, as this is similar to the Day Designer Pocket. And so what I really liked about this, plus I've already started to personalize this planner by adding additional pockets and things like that. I've added a pocket in the back as well. So there's a pocket back here, and then I've also added these little notebooks that I picked up from Hobby Lobby, I keep wanting to say Hobby Lobby, Barnes and Nobles as well. Just some things that kind of help, things that I think the planner needs. But nonetheless, like I said, I picked this up because I really liked the layout. I really liked how the planner in itself was set up. So what I really like about this planner, which is what I was referencing in terms of the Day Designer planners, is that you have a note section, but then every single month has a end of month note section. So definitely love that. Also, the important holidays list is up front, which I feel like the Day Designer should have definitely done. So in this planner, I was really loving the fact that you get your 2025 and 2026. You don't have a 2024 overview, but I didn't care because I was just like, I use so many different planners. I didn't really care to see it. I don't think. Do you get your 2024? No. I thought maybe you do, but yeah, no, you don't get a 2024. You just get your 2025 and 2026. And then you have like a celebrations, which I was like, okay, cool. You don't have to use this for birthdays or anything like that. You can definitely use this for like future planning, like maybe have something in July coming up or January or so forth. You have space for that in here, so I like that. And then, like I said, you have your holidays list up front, which I'm just like, yes, for the up front, needs to be up front. And then you have notes pages. So you don't have just one note page. You have quite a bit of like lengthy note pages that you can use to either make a collection of some sort or future plan or ideas or brain dump. You have space for that up front, which is what I really love. And then my first August tab, I really like this monthly dashboard because it gives you, instead of a weekly to-do list, you have your monthly to-do list here. You have your save the dates. Right now I need to start getting my voter registration stuff done. And so, yeah, I got some important things that I need to take care of. So you have your save the date, you have your birthdays and anniversary section, which you can easily turn into a note section. Just cover that and boom, you have a note space, or ignore it and just use it as notes. And then what I love is the monthly. So I don't like the fact that this planner starts, the monthly starts on a Sunday. I do not like that. I don't like the monthly starting on a Sunday. It's not a real big problem for me because I'm so used to it now, it doesn't even faze me. In the past, when I was using the Happy Planner, I would always highlight Sunday and Saturday so that I saw them and I wouldn't accidentally plan on the wrong day. Now, I just expect it with some of these pre-planners or pre-coiled planners, and I just kind of go about realizing that it starts on a Sunday. But I like the boxes. I think the boxes are a good size. I like the little note space. It's clean, it's aesthetic. It's very clean. So I definitely like that. It doesn't have a lined background to keep your writing neat, but I write pretty neat anyway. So yes to that. Also, the boxes are a decent size. I think this size is very nice. Granted, this is a bigger planner than a Day Designer again, but the boxes are very nice. And although your month starts on a Sunday, your actual weekly pages start on a Monday. So very, very, very nice. This planner I loved because when I seen it in a store and I opened it up, I initially fell in love because if you cannot see that the Monday through Sunday there is these check boxes. Granted, Saturday and Sunday are just one space for check boxes, but if you're looking at Monday through Friday, you realize that there is a split between the weekly days. So you have a left and a right side. I absolutely love that because, like I said, I have been doing this for the past couple of months, where I have been splitting my weekly pages from left and right, so tasks and reminders and appointments and things like that. So I absolutely love this. I need to go back. Like I said, today has been busy, so I haven't really had a whole lot of downtime to check my planners. And I'm also filming, so this takes a lot of time and effort. So I'm trying to get these things out to you guys. But nonetheless, I really like the clean aesthetic with this. Yes, there's no note pages, but you know, like I just said, you have those note pages in the front, which help. And I just have this little, because my RSVP pen kind of bleeds a little bit, like sometimes when I'm using it, it kind of like smears. I don't know if you can see the little ink smearing. Sometimes when I'm using the RSVP pen, it does that. So I just learned to keep a little index card just to kind of blot. I know in a past video, I got a lot of comments about using blotter paper. I am very aware about the blotting paper. I know all about the blotting paper for the Tomoe River paper. My gripe was not the fact that it smeared and that I couldn't blot it. The thing was, I didn't want to do that because it just took more effort to move this paper around to kind of, you know, blot up this ink. And yeah, I just didn't feel like doing all of that. It just, I just subject myself to using ballpoint pen because of the way that I move. I know a lot of you like gel pens and things like that. I'm not too keen on gel pens. I don't care for them like most people may think that I do. I think that they're nice. I use them, but they're not something that I'm like gravitating to the most. And that's because of just the way that I move, how I move. But yeah, I just wanted to touch base on that because I've been getting that comment so many times about using blotting paper, and I'm like, I'm very aware what blotting paper is, and I have a lot of it to, you know, use. And when I don't, I use stuff like this to kind of soak up some stuff. But nonetheless, it doesn't matter to me. Like I said, nice little aesthetic. So all the weeks look like this. I ended up putting my weekly sticky notes on there because I wanted to, you know, have like my weekly habit trackers and stuff like that accessible. You may be hearing my son outside the door. And so that just frees up some space so I don't have to rewrite certain things every single day. And then at the end of the month, you have note pages. And I love this because, like I said, I do take a lot of notes, but wherever I'm lacking, there's space to jot down those notes so that nothing gets left behind. I like the fact that all the tabs are laminated. I like the fact that the monthly dashboards are different colors, from blue to green to this like pinky color. I've already started forwarding planning, so I've started writing in some important things. So like I said, September, I need to get my voters registration and stuff done because I am from Ohio, and so I've got things to do for my state to make sure that I can vote this year. So yeah, I've got some things to take care of there. The planner is like that all the way through: dashboard, month, and then your weeks, and then note pages. In the very, very, very back of the planner, I have this blank. It's just blank. It's not lined. It's just blank paper. It's a Denic notebook. I have this back here so that if I want to, I can do whatever I so choose. I can make notes, collections, whatever, commonplace if you want to call it that, reference, whatever I want, it's here for me to do. So that is the setup with this. This is what I've decided to move into alongside my Clever Fox. And then this also has like a closure. So I was happy about that because, like I said, the day designer did not have a closure at all. I'm sure I could have made a closure, but I didn't want to go the extra mile and add more things to an already sort of flimsy retail planner. I think the flagship may be a little bit better, but I'm not with the flagship right now, so I've got to go off what I've got. And yeah, so this works. I liked it, and yes, this is the setup for this Kate Spade's agenda, and it is a hardcover, so I do feel like things are a little bit more protected in here than they were in the day designer. All right, you guys, this is a pretty lengthy video. You're getting 2 lengthy videos from me, so I hope that you guys definitely appreciate all my ramblings and definitely appreciate my thought process behind all the products that I've shared with you today. I thank all of you so much for taking time out of your busy days to even watch whatever kind of downtime that you're having right now. If you're having downtime rather, and if you're working, I thank you guys for just taking time to just listen if you're listening, or watch if you're watching. It means a whole lot to me that anyone even, watched a video, because it makes me feel like I'm not doing this for nothing. But like I said, I appreciate you. I hope that you enjoyed today's video, like I said, and I will catch you guys in my next planner related video. Bye, loves.